The Virgin of the Cosmos. Part 2. And Isis answered, they took the mingled material, O my son Horus, and began to reflect thereon, and to adore this combination, the work of the Father. Next, they sought to discover of what it was composed, which, indeed, it was not easy to find. Then, fearing that this search might excite the anger of the Father, they set themselves to carry out his commands. Therefore, taking the upper portion of the protoplasm, that which was lightest, they created of it the race of birds. The compound having now become more compact and assuming a denser consistency, they formed of it the quadrupeds, while of the thickest part which needed a moist vehicle for its support, they made fishes. The remainder, being cold and heavy, was employed by the souls in the creation of reptiles. Forthwith, O my son, proud of their work, they were not afraid to transgress the divine law, and, in spite of the prohibition, they receded from their appointed limits. Not willing to remain longer in the same abode, they moved ceaselessly, and repose seemed to them death. But, O my son, their conduct could not escape the eye of the Lord the Divine of all things. He minded to punish them, and to prepare for them hard bonds. The ruler and master of the universe resolved then for the penance of the souls, to mold the human organism, and having called me to him, said Hermes, he spoke this way, O soul of my soul, holy thought of my thought, how long shall earthly nature remain sad? How long shall the creation already produced continue inactive and without praise? Bring here before me all the gods of heaven. Thus the divine spake, quoth Hermes, and all obeyed his decree. Look upon the earth, he said to them, and upon all things beneath. Straightway they looked, and understood the will of the Lord. And when he spoke to them of the creation of man, asking of each what he could bestow upon the race about to be born, the Son first replied, I will illuminate mankind. Then the Moon promised enlightenment in her turn, adding that already she had created fear, silence, sleep, and memory. Cronus announced that he had begotten justice and necessity. Zeus said, in order to spare the future race perpetual wars, I have generated fortune, hope, and peace. Ares declared himself already father of conflict, impetuous zeal, and emulation. Aphrodite did not wait to be called upon. As for me, O Master, she said, I will bestow upon mankind desire, with voluptuous joy and laughter, that the penalty, to which our sister souls are destined may not weigh on them too hardly. These words of Aphrodite, O my son, were welcomed gladly. And I, said Hermes, will endow human nature with wisdom, temperance, persuasion, and truth, nor will I cease to ally myself with invention. I will ever protect the mortal life of such men as are born under my signs, seeing that to me the Creator and Father has attributed in the zodiac signs of knowledge and intelligence. Above all, when the movement which draws thereto the stars is in harmony with the physical forces of each. He who is master of the world rejoiced at hearing these things, and decreed the production of the human race. As for me, said Hermes, I sought what material ought to be employed in the work, and invoked the Lord, He commanded the souls to give up the residue of the protoplasmic substance, which having taken, I found it entirely dried up. Therefore, I used a great excess of water wherewith to renew the combination of the substance, in such a way that the product might be resolvable, yielding, and feeble, and that force should not be added therein to intelligence. When I had achieved my work it was beautiful, and I rejoiced in seeing it. And from below I called upon the Lord to behold what I had done. He saw it, and approved. Straightway he ordained that the souls should be incorporated, and they were seized with horror on learning what should be their condemnation. These words, Isis said, struck me. Listen, my son Horus, for I teach you a mystery. Our ancestor Chemiphes had it also from Hermes, who inscribes the recital of all things. I, in turn, received it from the ancient Chemiphes when he admitted me to the initiation of the Black Veil, and you, likewise, O marvelous and illustrious child, receive it from me. The souls were about to be imprisoned in bodies, whereat some sighed and lamented, as when some wild and free animal suddenly enchained, in the first moment of subjection to hard servitude and of severance from the beloved habits of the wilderness, struggles and revolts, refusing to follow its conqueror, and if occasion presents itself, slaying him. Others, again, hissed like serpents, or gave vent to piercing great heaven. Said one, principle of our birth, ether, pure airs, hands, and sacred breath of the sovereign the divine, and you, shining stars, eyes of the gods, unwearying light of sun and moon, our early brethren, what grief, what rending is this? Must we quit these vast, effulgent spaces, this sacred sphere, all these splendors of the Empyrean and of the happy republic of the gods, to be precipitated into these vile and miserable abodes? What crime, O wretched ones, have we committed? How can we have merited, poor sinners that we are, the penalties which await us? Behold the sad future in store for us to minister to the wants of a fluctuating and dissoluble body. No more may our eyes distinguish the souls divine. Hardly through these watery spheres shall we perceive, with sighs, our ancestral heaven. At intervals even we shall cease altogether to behold it. By this disastrous sentence direct vision is denied to us, we can see only by the aid of the outer light, these are but windows that we possess not eyes. Nor will our pain be less when we hear in the air the fraternal breathing of the winds with which no longer can we mingle our own, since that will have for its dwelling, instead of the sublime and open world, the narrow prison of the breast. But, who drives us forth, and causes us from so high a seat to descend so low, assign a limit to our sufferings. O Master and Father, so quickly become indifferent to your handiwork, appoint a term to our penance, deign to bestow on us some last words, while yet we are able to behold the expanse of the luminous spheres. This prayer of the souls was granted, my son Horus, for the Lord was present, and sitting upon the throne of truth, thus he addressed them, O souls, you shall be governed by desire and necessity, after me, these shall be your masters and your guides. Souls, subjected to my scepter which never fails, know that inasmuch as you remain stainless you shall inhabit the regions of the skies. If among you any be found to merit reproach, they shall inhabit abodes destined to them in mortal organisms. If your faults be light, you shall, delivered from the bond of the flesh, return to heaven. But if you become guilty of graver crime, if you turn away from the end for which you have been formed, then indeed you shall dwell neither in heaven nor in human bodies, but thenceforth you shall pass into those of animals without reason. Having thus spoken, O my son Horus, he breathed upon them and said, "It is not according to chance that I have ordained your destiny. If you act ill, it will be worse. It will be better if your actions are worthy of your birth. It is myself and not another who will be your witness and your judge. Understand that it is because of your past errors that you are to be punished and shut up in fleshly bodies. In different bodies, as I have already told you, your rebirths will be different. Dissolution shall be a benefit, restoring your former happy condition. But if your conduct be unworthy of me, your prudence, becoming blinded and guiding you backwards, will cause you to take for good fortune that which is really a chastisement, and to dread a happier lot as though it were a cruel injury. The most just among you shall, in their future transformations, approximate to the divine, becoming among men, upright kings, true philosophers, leaders, and legislators, true seers, collectors of salutary plants, cunning musicians, intelligent astronomers, wise augurs, instructed ministrants, all beautiful and good offices, as among birds are the eagles which pursue not nor devour those of their own kind, and do not permit weaker ones to be attacked in their presence because justice is in the nature of the eagle. Among quadrupeds, the lion, for he is a strong animal, untamed by slumber, in a mortal body performing immortal toils, and by nothing tired nor beguiled. Among reptiles, the dragon, because he is powerful, living long, innocent, and a friend of men, allowing himself to be tamed, having no venom, and, leaving old age, approximating to the nature of the gods. Among fishes, the dolphin, for this creature, taking pity on those who fall into the sea, will carry them to land if they still live, and will abstain from devouring them if dead, although it is the most voracious of all aquatic animals. Having spoken these words, the divine became an incorruptible intelligence. This will end the second part of the Virgin of the Cosmos.